Passover Music Day. This is to prepare you for your Seders that you'll be having on Monday night and Tuesday night. So we have to teach you all the songs again, and we only do them, twice a year. That means Lance and Travis and I only practice them once a year, and we didn't get around to that for this year. So we're gonna go with it, and we gotta start with the classics, okay? These are the traditional ones, and then we get into some of the more lighthearted ones. Today is a day of just fun music as we prepare for Passover. Welcome to Shalom Macon, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. I think we have translations for these words, but these are all of the songs, or a few of the songs from the Haggadah. The Haggadah, the book, the order that tells us the telling, I should say, of the Seder, which is coming soon because we're about to start eating matzah. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Avadim Hayinu. This is where we start. We were slaves. Now we are free. You ready? Everybody awake? Avadim Hayinu, Hayinu, Tabane Chorin, Bene Chorin. Avadim Hayinu, Ata, Bene Chorin. Avadim Hayinu, Ata, Bene Chorin, Bene Chorin. Ata, Bene Chorin, Bene Chorin. Avadim Hayinu, Hayinu. Atap, B'nei Chorin, B'nei Chorin. Avadim Hayinu, Atap, B'nei Chorin. Avadim Hayinu, Atap, B'nei Chorin, B'nei Chorin. Atap, B'nei Chorin, B'nei Chorin. So if you're gonna sing it at your Seder, you gotta sing it with me. Here we go. One more. Ready, Lance? Avadim Hayinu, Hayinu, Ata, B'nei Chorin, B'nei Chorin. Avadim Hayinu, Ata, B'nei Chorin, B'nei Chorin. Avadim Hayinu, Ata, B'nei Chorin, B'nei Chorin. Ata, B'nei Chorin, B'nei Chorin. Ata, B'nei Chorin, B'nei Chorin. Blessed is he, the Holy One who is everywhere. Blessed is he who gave the Torah. Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu. Baruch Shenatan Torah. Shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael. Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu. Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael. Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu. Now you ready? Sing it with me. Here we go. Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael. Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu. Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu. Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu. Very nice, very nice. We're going through them. And I can tell you are very excited about it. I can see it. I can feel the energy. Nope, not gonna do it. Here we go. שעמדה והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, והיא שעמדה והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא
עומדים עלינו לכלותנו, אלא שבכל דור ודור עומדים עלינו לכלותנו.
That's how it goes, but not slow like that. You ready?
והיא שעמדה, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, והיא שעמדה, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, אלא שבכל דור ודור עומדים 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 עלינו לכלותנו. והיא שעמדה, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, היא שעמדה, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, אלא שבכל דור ודור עומדים עלינו לכלותנו, אלא שבכל דור ודור עומדים עלינו לכלותנו.
We'll do that one. There we go. You feel like you're in like a cartoon or something?
אלו הוציאנו, הוציאנו ממצרים, הוציאנו ממצרים.
There we go.
די דיינו, די דיינו, די דיינו, 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 די דיינו, די דיינו, די דיינו, דיינו, דיינו. אילו נתן לנו את השבת, נתן לנו את השבת, דיינו, די דיינו, די דיינו, די דיינו, 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 די דיינו, די דיינו, די דיינו, דיינו, דיינו. אילו נתן תורה, נתן לנו את התורה, נתן לנו את התורה, דיינו, די דיינו, די דיינו, די דיינו, 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 די דיינו, די דיינו, די דיינו, דיינו, דיינו. אילו נתן לנו המשיח, נתן לנו המשיח, דיינו, די דיינו, די דיינו, די דיינו, 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 די דיינו, די דיינו, די דיינו, 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 די דיינו, די דיינו, די דיינו, דיינו, דיינו.
Perfect song, perfect time to sing a song about a goat. Lance has been working on his animal sound since last year. this song, right? Anyone who does not know Passover songs, who is currently hearing what's being sung, is already a little bit freaked out, and you don't even know what's coming. We're about to sing a very classic song. It concludes most of the Seders, or it's toward the end after the 4 glasses of wine. It's called Hadad Ya. It's a song in some ways about all of the empires that have tried to destroy Israel. It has some other significances, but it is a song about one little goat. And the deal is, by the end of it, you have to sing it all in one breath, and you'll understand how that can be a little tricky in just a minute. But just so you get the chorus, if you're not familiar with it, it goes like this. Hadad Ya, Hadad Ya, Hadad Ya, Hadad Ya. My father bought for 2 zuzim, Hadad Ya, Hadad Ya. Then came the cat that ate the kid. My father bought for 2 zuzim, Hadad Ya, Hadad Ya. Then came the dog that ate the kid. My father bought for 2 zuzim, Hadad Ya, Hadad Ya. Then came the stick that beat the dog that bit the cat that ate the kid. My father bought for 2 zuzim and Hadad Ya, Hadad Ya. Then came the fire that burned the stick that beat the dog that bit the cat that ate the kid. My father bought for 2 zuzim and Hadad Ya, Hadad Ya. Then came the water that quenched the fire that burned the stick that beat the dog that bit the cat that ate the kid. My father bought for 2 zuzim, Hadad Ya, Hadad Ya. Then came the ox that drank the water that burned the stick that burned the stick that beat the dog that bit the cat that ate the kid. My father bought for 2 zuzim and Hadad. Then came the butcher that slew the ox that drank the water that quenched the fire that burned the stick that beat the dog that bit the cat that ate the kid. My father bought for 2 zuzim and one breath, remember, one breath. Then came the angel of death. 2, 3, 4. And killed the butcher that slew the ox that drank the water that quenched the fire that burned the stick that beat the cat that ate the kid that ate the kid. 2 zuzim, Hadad Ya, Hadad Ya. Take a big breath. Then came the Holy One, blessed be He.
Yeah, there's no sound for God.
And destroyed the angel of death. That killed the butcher that slew the ox that drank the water that quenched the fire that burned the stick that beat the dog that bit the cat that ate the kid. Father bought for 2 zuzim, Hadad Ya, Hadad Ya. So we zuzim. All right. Now we have to play the really serious stuff. Any Kenny Rogers fans? On a warm desert evening, we were slaves to the Pharaoh. The cards had all been dealt, and we were on a losing streak. Then Moses came up to us, told us God had sent him
The night grew deadly quiet as he began to speak. He said, God has seen the tears rolling down your faces. God has sent me here to give y'all a helping hand. So if you don't mind me saying, I can see you're out of aces, but rest assured that God will help you reach the promised land. But you got to know when to flee now, know when you're free now, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never make your bread. When it's time to flee to Pharaoh, there'll be time for bread to leaven when the fleeing's done. So we packed our half-baked bread, then we fled from the Pharaoh. We got away while Pharaoh and his men were fast asleep. And somewhere in the darkness, I heard a voice from heaven, and in those final words I found an ace that I could keep. You got to know when to flee now, know when you're free now, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never make your bed. When it's time to flee to Pharaoh, there'll be time for bread to leaven when the fleeing's done. You got to know when to flee now, know when to free now, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never make your bed. When it's time to flee to Pharaoh, there'll be time for bread to leaven when the fleeing's done. I think it's probably best that we get this one over with now. Kelly, why did you shake your head like that?
She looks nervous.
I'm going to switch the order just a little bit, Darren, to this one. It's called Why Are You Here? Ready? I don't know if I am.
I can't remember how it goes. Oh, that one.
Moses, it was me in the bush. I said, Moses, well, you just need a push. I said, Moses, just a whack on the tush and you'll make your people happy. Moses, you've been lucky from birth. I said, Moses, you were put on this earth. I said, Moses, you can show what you're worth. You can make your people happy. I want to tell you now why you are here. I want to tell you now why you are here. He's done everything just to ruin their joy. He has taken the firstborn boys. I want to tell you now. I want to tell you now why you are here. Moses, don't be a slow. When the Pharaoh says go, let all the people go. Moses, all you people are slaves. I said, Moses, and they have to be saved. I said, Moses, you will have to be brave. You can make your people happy. Moses, soon your people will die. I said, Moses, they'll be happy and free. I said, Moses, they will cross the Red Sea. You can make your people happy. I want to tell you now why you are here. I want to tell you now why you are here. He has taken the firstborn boys. I said,
building on that.
Adonai said, I never will forget you. I will make Pharaoh set you free. Now here we are, drinking the wine we savor as we recall our slavery. Out, red for me, white for you. Sweet kosher wine, you make Seder seem so good. We all recline and we drink you like we should. Adonai said, if you can learn to trust me, then in the end you'll be just fine. Now here we are, all of these long years later, drinking our favorite Seder wine. And pouring wine, reaching out, red for me, white for you. Sweet kosher wine, they say it seems so good. We all recline and we drink it like we should. Come on, it's sweet kosher wine. You make Seder seem so good. We all recline and we drink it like we should.
May your Seders be full of Neil Diamond songs. Good Jewish boy, by the way. Do you know it? Of course. Jazz singer, right? That was Neil Diamond. All right, we're going out with this one. Takes all we got left. This is going to be the end of the service, by the way. This is it. But you know what? Every year I make this up in a different way. So let's figure out how this one's going to be this way. Who knows one? I know one.
One is the Lord, one is the Lord, one is the Lord over heaven and the earth.
That won't work.
One is the Lord, one is the Lord, one is the Lord. One is the Lord, one is the Lord, one is the Lord over heaven and the earth.
No, I got there though. All right, you guys sing it. How's it go? I can't remember it. Who knows one? All I remember is, well, we know the song, right? Who knows one? I know one. One is the Lord. Maybe you sing it.
No. deaf.
You got a mic.
I can't even hear myself.
Okay. This is also one of these one-breathers, but at this point we never... Oh, Dave.
Hey, Dave, come on up
If
here.
Dave got up here and sung, that'd be the end of the service for sure. Where is he?
Mishnah and 5 of the books of the Torah and 4 of are the mamas and 3 are the papas and 2 are the tappers that both say God, and 1 is the Lord over heaven and the earth. Here we go. Who knows 13?
I know 13.
13 are the ways that God is good. 12 are the tribes of Israel. 11 are the stars in Joseph's dream. 10 are the commandments. 9 are the months in the mama's womb. 8 are the days to the breast. 7 are the days of the week. And 6 are the books of the Mishnah. And 5 are the books of the Torah. And 4 are the mamas. And 3 are the papas. And 2 are the tappers that both say God. 1 is the Lord. 1 is the Lord. 1 is the Lord over heaven and the earth.
Ready for Passover? Okay. My guitar broke a string and stayed in tune, which is an amazing thing. Let's stand, my friends, and enter in to the courts of the King.
That's impressive.
It is.
Ya la la, ya la la la. 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 Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam, 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 Le'olam va'ed. Ya la la, ya la la. You may be seated. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Blessed is the name of his glorious kingdom. Blessed is his name for all eternity. Blessed is the name of his glorious kingdom for all eternity. For all eternity. Yeshua, he is my Messiah. He is Lord of all. Yeshua, he is my Messiah. He is Lord of all. He is Lord of all. He is Lord of all. Yeah. Let's stand together for some prayer. Special prayer. Old, ancient, beautiful prayer. Acknowledging God as a community. We say before him, he is faithful, has been faithful, will be faithful.
To the God who is faithful through all the generations.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Chanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot, ומביא גואל לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם.
To the God who is faithful to resurrect the dead.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים אתה ורב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך? מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לך חיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים.
To the Holy One seated above the heavens.
קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. ממקומך מלכנו תופיע ותמלוך עלינו, כי מחכים אנחנו לה. איי 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 מתי תמלוך בציון, בקרוב בימינו לעולם ועד תשכון, תתגדל
To the one who gives us this day of rest and refreshing. This is Shabbat Hagadol. It's what it's called, the great Sabbath that comes before Passover.
Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh ha-shabbat.
To the God restoring his presence to Zion.
Baruch atah Adonai hamachazir shechinato leTzion.
To the God whose name is good and who is worthy of all thanksgiving and gratitude.
Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha ulchanei lehodot.
To the God who grants us peace.
Baruch atah Adonai, havarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. In the words of our Master, together we pray the prayer that he taught us as his disciples. Avinu Shabbat Yitkadesh mecha tavo malchutecha ye'aseh retzonecha kasher b'shamayim gam ba'aretz elamenu lemachar ten lanu hayom umechal lanu al chovoteyenu כאשר מכרנו גם אנחנו לחייבנו אל תביאנו לידי ניסיון כי אם תצילנו מן הרע כי לך הממלכה והגבורה לך תפארת לעולמי עולמים. For the sake of our Master Yeshua, in his merit and his virtue, may the sayings of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be favorable, be favorable, be favorable to you. Oh Lord, my rock and my redeemer. 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 Yeshua, Hu HaMashiach, Hu Adon HaKol. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, the King of the universe, who has given us the way of salvation in Messiah Yeshua. Amen. You may be seated. So yes, a special Shabbat Shalom to you all for the great Sabbath. Thank you for supporting Shalom Macon as a community. It's every pastor and rabbi's favorite Haftorah portion where we read in Malachi, test me in this. Open the gates of heaven and see if bring your full tithe and offering into the storehouse and see if I don't. Guess what? We don't ever have to even rely on that because, well, no, we do rely on God, but we don't rely on using that verse to make you get your wallets out. You know why? We have a very, very healthy community where people understand the value of giving, supporting, making things happen, and it is very important to the work that we're able to do around the world. So thank you for being builders, not bystanders. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Od Abinu Chai, Od Abinu Chai. Od Abinu, Od Abinu, Od Abinu Chai. Od Abinu Chai, Od Abinu Chai. Od Abinu, Od Abinu, Od Abinu Chai. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, good morning. What a joy it is to see y'all today as the invasion of the cicadas have started. So I've seen many a picture of them, and there's actually some out in the parking lot shedding, so y'all be careful when you walk out there. We thank y'all so much for joining us. We'd like to welcome Alice Doma from the UK, Anari Kikuchi from Japan, Roland Octavius from East Java, Indonesia, Nadine Harold from Cassville, Missouri, and Stacy Ruth from Heber Springs, Arkansas. And we got people from Wales, California, Texas, Michigan, Nebraska, Washington, Georgia, Alabama, Vermont, and Heber Springs. I've been corrected. Sorry, Stacy. It's Heber Springs. Okay. Yeah. A few quick announcements. Torah Club will be today at 1:30, along with Kids Hebrew at 1:30 as well, both online and live here. Also, if you have not got your Torah Club books yet, they're on the back table. See Ross, and he'll make sure that you get them. And also, Teens to Life is today. And also, College and Career today. Teens for Life, I believe it's 1:30 as well. But the College and Career girls will meet at 2, and the guys will meet at 4. And that is all online. And don't forget our Passover service, 10 a.m. Tuesday morning. Please come if you are able. And just wanted to wish all of y'all a Hag Pesach. Sameach. Sameach. Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, kiddos, let's go to school. But fun school, Shabbat school, right? It's better than going to home school. Yismcha Elohim ke Ephraim v'hi Menashe. May the Lord make you like Ephraim and Menashe. Yisameach Elohim ke Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah. May the Lord make you like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Thank you, Father. We ask that you would bless and keep our children, helping us to encourage them in the way that they should go, but also supporting their parents in this great task that is parenting. Bless, protect, and watch over them. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, yo'er Adonai pono v'elecha v'yihuneka, yis Adonai pono v'elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. All right, you can walk to class, or to your whoever. It's just us. We are approaching what is called Zeman Cherutenu. Say it with me. Zeman gotta get that. Thank you. Cherutenu. The season of our redemption, the season of liberation, the season of freedom. This is where we're headed. I've mentioned it now several times. Shabbat HaGadol, the big Sabbath, right? And so I want to have a season of freedom quiz. It's very easy questions, okay? I've already given you most of the answers. What is the holiday that Zaman Cherutenu is a part of? Sorry? Thank you. Don't be afraid. These are easy questions. Passover, Chag HaMatzot, the days of unleavened bread. Then we have Sfirat HaOmer, the counting of the Omer. And then we count up to the Festival of Weeks, Shavuot. This is all part of Zaman Cherutenu. What is the freedom we're celebrating from? Freedom from what? Slavery, oppression. Very, very good. Where was Egypt? Where was Israel? Thank you, Paul. Where was Israel held captive? Got it. How long was Israel enslaved in Egypt? I'm going to take a guess from this side. 210, 215. You've all overbid. Cody, you're the next contestant on Be the Rabbi for the day. Well, the scripture answers the question, actually. In Genesis 15, we read this. God said to Abram, "Know for certain that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs, where they will be enslaved and oppressed for 400 years. Who says the answer is 400? Then we read Exodus 12 that says, at the end of 430 years on this very day, all the multitudes of the Lord departed from the land of Egypt. Who says 430 years? I just read you the Bible. It says it. There are actually several more figures given in Judaism. There is the number of 210 years. There is the number of 116 years. There is the number of 86 years. Five opportunities. You ready for the lesson? I have gone over this like 5 times trying to present it in a way that would be clear. I have yet to succeed. May God give me strength for this very moment. You remember the covenant between the parts? When God made a covenant with Abraham. And that is where he said to him, at the covenant between the parts, your people, your descendants will be held in slavery for 400 years. Okay? 400 years. Your descendants will be held in slavery. Did he have any descendants at this point in the covenant between the parts? The answer is no. He had a son 30 years later. His name was Isaac. His first descendant, Isaac, Exodus counts back from the Exodus to the covenant between the parts. When it says 430 years to the day they left, that's from the covenant between the parts to the time they went out of Egypt. But God tells Abraham, when you have a descendant, it will be 400 years. 400 years from the time of Isaac's birth till the time they went out of Egypt. It's both. What about the rest of these numbers? They're from Midrash. Someone said 210 years. How could we get 210 years? Well, Jacob's family came to Egypt 210 years before they left Egypt after the Exodus. So some count 210 years as the time when Israel was held in bondage in Egypt. There's another number, 116 years. How do we get that? Well, Midrash tells us that the enslavement didn't really start until the Pharaoh forgot about Joseph and all his brothers. So the last to die was Levi. And from that point forward, from the death of Levi until the Exodus, was 116 years. There's one more. Who wants to take a gamble on 86? How do we get to 86 years? The time of the most intense persecution in Egypt began with the birth of someone whose name means bitter. She was born. Her name is Miriam. From Miriam's birth until the time they left Egypt was 86 years. Okay? So, for your biblical trivia, Ken, Jeopardy, Ken, I'll take dates of the Exodus for 200. When someone asks you, how long was Israel in exile? Was it 430 years? Was it 400 years? Was it 210 years? Was it 116 years? Or was it 86 years? Your answer is? Yes. Yes, that's it. Thank you, we got that done. Now, you might have thought that was the whole thing. Maybe you wanted that to be the whole message, but there's more I got to tell you because there's one more quiz question I want to ask you. Lama is the word in Hebrew. Lama, an exile in slavery, an entire group of people. Lama, why? Why was Israel held in captivity? Anyone want to venture That's actually why you're here. I'm going to tell you so you don't have to come up with an answer, but it's a big question. I recently did a teaching that was about the idea of, the t-shirt that says the summary of all Jewish holidays. They tried to kill us, we won, let's eat. Okay? I did a teaching at Malchut about that, which really kind of focused on the idea, the fact that they tried to kill us is even a part of that little snippet. There's nothing funny about that, is there? They tried to kill us, okay? But that got me thinking about Passover this week as I'm reading and I'm really digging into the Exodus and the enslavement, and I'm thinking to myself, what kind of holiday? This is a holiday, it's a festival. What kind of holiday should be built around the fact that an entire people were slaves and got out of it? That, I can only call this the Passover problem. We celebrate this. Why did it have to be birthed out of these circumstances, out of slavery? We know that God allows suffering. We know this. But for his purpose to be realized, it seems off. I mean, to be one day enslaved is too many, much less 430 or 86 or whatever it is. And speaking of years, I mean, the plan of God was known long ago. We just talked about the covenant between the parts. This didn't just pop up and happen. This was a prophesied thing. The plan was known before the Exodus. Now, in a way that you may not have seen, I want to show you something today. Because fear not, Jewish tradition and the Midrash has found this incredible parallel for you. I'm talking about the fact that when we look at the Torah long before the Exodus, we can already see the Exodus in one man's life. His name was Abram at the time. And he's the one who received the prophetic word from God, right? But listen, in Genesis 12, Abram went down to Egypt. Why? Because there was a famine. In Genesis 45, the people of Israel went down to Egypt. Why? Because there was a famine. To live there for a while, Abraham says in Genesis 12. In Genesis 47, Jacob says, we have come to live here for a while. Genesis 12, Abram says, Sarah, listen, they'll kill me, but they'll let you live. They'll kill the men, they'll kill me. You remember Exodus 1, Pharaoh charged all his people, you are to cast every male, every man that's born, you throw him in the river, but the women, you can let them live. Plagues. What happened when they found out that Sarah was Abraham's wife? Adonai struck Pharaoh and his household with great plagues in Exodus 12. What is the entire first part of Exodus about? The plagues which struck Pharaoh. They were urged to leave. In Genesis 12, Pharaoh wanted Abraham, just go, get out. What happened in Exodus? The Egyptians said, Israelites, just get out. In Genesis 13, Abraham left with what? Great riches and wealth. After the Exodus, how did Israel leave? With silver and gold. You see the incredible overlay of how far back this plan goes and how Abraham's life just plays it out? And then there's another layer, though, that I want to talk about. Not just the time and why it had to be and that it was prophesied through the life of our greatest patriarch. There's another thing that God says about this celebration that we've been let go from slavery. The word is remember. 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 The whole Passover Seder is about remembering that we were once slaves in Egypt, but we were set free. Okay, that's good. That's a great thing. We want to remember that. But I want you to just take note of all the other remembering that we're called to do in the Torah, and it's not good. The slave part, God commands over and over and over, remember the slavery. That's how the 10 Commandments start. It's the introduction to the relationship with God. Exodus 20, I'm the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Remember that. Exodus 13, Moses said, remember the day on which you went free from Egypt, the house of bondage. Leviticus 19, the stranger who resides with you shall be to you as one of your citizens. You shall love him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Deuteronomy 5, remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt. Deuteronomy 15, remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt. Deuteronomy 16, you shall remember that you were a slave in Egypt. Deuteronomy 24, but you shall remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you from there. Therefore I command you to do this thing. Deuteronomy 24:22. You shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and there are many, many more. Remember, you were a slave. That's a weird festival celebration, isn't it? Even the Seder itself, we can't get away from it at dinner. Maror, recalling the bitter herbs, the bitterness of slavery. It's painful. Was there no other way that Israel could have been prepared for the mission, the message the chosen people, right? This was the way. Well, between the Abrahamic parallels, the prophecy between the parts, the call to remember, remember, this was the way. This is the way. It still is the way. We have to read it all the time. Why? Why did Israel become a nation this way? Why do we celebrate and remember such a humble, basically humiliating origin story? It's sort of humiliating. Do you want to know? It's a hard pill to swallow. It can be summarized in one Hebrew word, anava. You know that word? Humility. Humility, sometimes modesty, but anava is much more than modesty or having a low, self-esteem. It is about finding the balance between self-respect and arrogance, to recognize one's own strength and weaknesses and understand your place in the world without feeling superior to anyone else. That is anava. And that perspective gives then a genuine assessment of you in relation to everyone else and to God. This aspect of humanity, this should be aspect of humanity, which is called humility, is the foundation of every other good attribute you can build in yourself. Do you know that? That's what Musar teaches over and over. Anava, humility, humility, humility. Build. It doesn't mean I'm a worm, and it doesn't mean I'm a king. It means I know the balance. It is the foundation for people as individuals. So my question is this: if it's important for us, how much more important was it for God to instill in a nation of people who were tasked with changing the world to understand their place in it? How important is it? Well, obviously, it's painful. It's not something we want to remember, really. It's not a heroic story. It's not awesome. We didn't, we're not like taking off our desert garment and out comes the big Superman. We rise to the... No, it's a painful story, but it's powerful. It's very powerful. Let me expand this just a minute. Many, many nations, if not almost all nations, begin with fighting. They begin with territorial claims, power struggles. To the victor goes the spoils, right? Power is held by some and lorded over others. And this, actually, we find this even later in the Torah and in the prophets and David's kingdom and Solomon. I mean, there's war, there's stuff that happens. But I'm talking here about the origin story of the nation, the why of the slavery. Why is this story? Why did Hashem decree that Jewish people should begin our role as slaves in history? The answer is easy. Egypt was a nation-building crucible. In Hebrew, it's called Habarzel, the iron crucible, which has the power, explains Rashi, to purify gold and remove all the dross that is found in it. You know what the dross was? Pride and arrogance. And it's hard to hear it because I know, God, there had to have been a better way. But this is the iron
furnace. This constant reminder found in the Torah. Remember you were slaves. I brought you out from slavery. Remember where you came from. This speaks to a different kind of humility. There are 3 reasons that we find given in all of the texts about why Israel was put into slavery. Number 1, trusting in God. Number 2, the idea that they understood there is a master and we must humble ourselves before him. But third, the most important was humility, that they would emerge from this with an understanding of humility. Yes, there is humility toward God, but this humility was to be toward other human beings, because nations are forged from strength, battles, status, money, power. And listen to me, Israel was nothing, had nothing, was nothing, the lowest of the low, no status, no rights, no opportunities, no future, no hope, no prospects. Slaves. It doesn't get any lower than that. And looking back 430 years from the Exodus, we know that that's the way God wanted it. Anava. That's the why. Yes, to God, but to each other. And listen, is illustrated most powerfully right now in the book of Torah that we're reading, which is called Leviticus. Yes, it's about sacrifices, blood, guts, livers, and tails. But it also says this: if an outsider dwells with you in your land, you should do him no wrong. The outsider dwelling among you shall be to you as the native born among you. You should love him as yourself, for you dwelled as outsiders in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Leviticus says it. The nation that God formed from nothing and nobodies was to create a world for everybody. You understand that? That's what happened. Because listen, in the ancient world, the Torah's ideals were revolutionary. Concepts like respect for human life, monotheism, social welfare, the rights of such disadvantaged people as widows, as orphans, slaves, it just didn't even exist. And the only way is in which Israel truly understood the mission and the scope and the importance and the audience was through these most humble of circumstances. That's what was happening. And yes, they learned to trust God, to know God brought us out from here. And there's a warning later that says, do not get too full of yourself. We read that later in Deuteronomy. My strength and abilities created all this success for me. No, God says, I'll take you down from that. But the nation of Israel were tasked with a calling much larger than themselves. Deuteronomy 4, you'll remember it. God, just as Adonai, my God, commanded me, I have taught you, Moses says, statutes and ordinances to do in the land that you're about to enter to possess. You must keep and do them, for it is your wisdom and understanding in the eyes of the people who will hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Do you understand what's happening? You are to create a new world for all of the world, Israel. And you're starting down here and coming up. The Torah has become, in civilized places, the foundation of all the world. That idea, it serves as a foundational text for Jewish civilization, but also Western thought, legal and ethical systems, everything is based on it. It's narratives, laws. This is a blueprint for society based on justice and compassion. The recognition of a moral order. The Torah mandates you treat people well. Why would we do that? Why wouldn't we act like everyone else in the world who takes what they want? Because I want you to remember where you come from. You were the lowest of the low.
This is the story. Even in God's commanded celebrations, we find the necessity to remember where we come from and include the world. We're about to have Passover, then we'll go to Shavuot. And this text about Shavuot says, 7 weeks you count for yourself, so you will rejoice before Adonai your God in the place Adonai your God chooses to make his name dwell. You, your son, your daughter, your slave, your maid, Levite, outsider, orphan, and widow. They're all invited to your party. Religion is disgustingly exclusive so often. God commanded Israel to be available to all. Hashem called them not for their glory, but for his. Not for their happiness, but for the nations. And it was this furnace of affliction. There's a book called Strive for Truth by Eliyahu Dessler. He's also a Musar guy, Michtav Eliyahu. Sometimes you have to go to the lowest low before you can teach and appreciate the highest of highs. He says every time that there's a need to give a righteous person the possibility of rising to a very high level, he's thrown into the worst environment so that he should learn that evil is futile and strive for higher. Remember last week? Not better, higher. Strive for higher. That's tough. We don't really want that. We don't want to be thrown into the furnace of affliction or the crucible of forming, whatever, but it's true. Egypt was the world apart from God, where man believes he controls his own destiny. He takes what he wants without the feelings of others in mind. He enslaves an entire nation. Because there's no compassion and his needs in Egypt are all that matters. That is the world in which Israel learned exactly what not to be. What not to be. And they had to do it in a very, very hard way. His people, Leviticus reminds us, are to be holy, for he is holy. That is to be like him. And how do we know how he is? We find it written on the words of that scroll. Remember where you came from. Remember what I've done for you. And do it for other people, which should bring new life. I want it to bring new life to your Passover Seders. When you read all of the remembering that's happening in the Torah, and to recall that many of the good parts of what we cherish in our society began in the shackles of slavery for the people who made it. And so there's something just in closing for the disciples of Yeshua, because Passover offers a unique opportunity to see this story in our own lives. Because the truth is, and I want to remind you from Romans 6, that we too have our own story of slavery and futility, of being hopeless without future. Romans 6 says, thanks be to God that though you used to be slaves to sin, you've come to obey from your heart the pattern of teaching that has now claimed your allegiance. You have been set free from sin, have become slaves to righteousness, but remember where you come from. Yeshua built a pretty solid foundation on that remembering thing. In 1 Corinthians, when he had given thanks, he broke it and said, this is my body, do this in remembrance of me. In the same way, the supper, he took the cup, saying, this cup is the new covenant in my blood. Do this whenever you drink it in remembrance of me. Just as Hashem asked Israel to create a better world, to build a new and better one. So guess what? You as disciples, Jew, Gentile, you have the same calling. Build a better world. Remember where you come from. Anavah, humility. And see, we are looking for a new world, a beautiful world to come. And Israel's slavery ultimately led to the chosen land, to the promised land, if only for a time. So we can take all kinds of time to reflect on the glorious future out of this world that we have. But if that's your real sole focus, if the by and by is what you really set all your sights on, you're missing the calling of the life you have been given. To remember the Torah instructing Israel, remember you were slaves in Egypt, act accordingly. Yeshua says, remember me, act accordingly. Even in this, we're reading Metzorah, the Torah portion about lepers, and we see Jesus healing lepers and touching a woman with issues of blood. These are people that no one wanted anything to do with. A Samaritan leper he heals. Why? Because he wants us to follow in the example of remembering that we too can be as low and have been raised by the power of God. For good works, it says. For good works, to do good things, to be like Jesus. So at your tables, listen, on Monday, Tuesday, at your Seders, remember who you are, where you've been, his teaching, his example, his gift. Emulate me, Yeshua says, in anavah, in humility. Remember your calling. Don't just, I know it's just another one of these messages, but don't just say, oh, he said some nice things, and that thing about slavery, that was pretty cool. Let's go eat. Let it stop long enough between your ears to really think about how you can be the best version of you in the world. Someone who was raised up to do good and amazing things for the world in which we live. That's what I want you to do at Passover. Yeah, you can eat matzah and bitter herbs, and you need to remember it. You read the stories, and we do all these things. But the festivals are part of your elevation process. They're supposed to make you better. So let it make you better. Let it be. Really remember where you came from, why, how you got here, and what you're going to do with the gift. And so with that, I will tell you early, Chag Pesach Sameach. Let it be real and powerful. Shabbat Shalom. Let's stand together. Aleinu leshavech l'Adon hakol, latet gedula le'oser bereshit, shelo sanu ki goei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot hadama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, legor aleinu ki chol hamonam, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס תולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ, מי תחתנו, אין עוד. ונאמר בחיי אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד. On that day, the Lord will be one, and his name will be one. So at 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning, we'll have our traditional Seder, our traditional Shachrit, our Passover service. It's mostly in Hebrew, but we will read from the Torah. We will sing the Hallel and celebrate it. So I certainly invite you to be a part of that service if that speaks to your heart. And I want to just thank you for being such a beautiful group of people who really do the things that I talk about. You really do invest in people's lives, and it's beautiful to watch. Now may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you his peace. B'Shem Yeshua. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'ir Adonai pon v'elecha v'yihuneka. Yisa Adonai pon v'elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shabbat Shalom.